All right, here we go. Welcome, guys, to the Flopbuster Movie Show Live. New episode coming right at you. Tony and Gabe here.
Yes.
And we have a special guest tonight. We got Brettman here from Good Real Hunting finally on the show. Very excited to have you on, man.
Man, I am absolutely honored to be here. I've been a follower of y'all's channel recently, and y'all just keep getting better and better. So I wanted to be a part of Flopbuster in some shape or form. So I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, we're glad that you're here, man. It's awesome to hear, that you've been a fan of ours. We've been a fan of yours as well. So we're glad we were able to collaborate here.
Oh, well, thank you.
We're excited, man. And congratulations on 600 subs, too, man. That's crazy. You guys are killing the game, too.
Appreciate that. It took us a little bit to get there, but just the passion's still there. So that's all you got to really focus on. Everything else will come later. So just always focus on that passion, enjoy what you do, and your results will get there in time.
He's like a football coach.
Well, my grandfather was a head football coach at a local high school, so I guess that's where I get that from.
That's where you get it from, man. That's awesome. I'm happy to have you on, man. This is going to be a very exciting episode. We're having Brett on to talk summer horror movies, which we will get to in a second. Make sure, guys, we're going to mention it again at the end. If you haven't already, make sure you're subbed to Good Real Hunting. These guys are great. They do Slash It Out, which is one I love to see you guys do that. And when you watch the Batman movies, I'm a huge Batman guy, so I have to check that out. So make sure you guys sub over to Brett at Good Real Hunting. I'll have the information in the video. And we like to start off the show
by promoting our sponsor today, which is Pepsi Nitro. Yes. Just got this in. They sent us a case over of Pepsi Nitro.
Oh, hell yeah. I actually saw a commercial on that right before I got on here. I was watching SmackDown. They got like these new craft Pepsi, so I'm actually really jealous.
It is craft Pepsi, so we'll see how it is. It's not a lot of carbonation, apparently.
It's not. I've tried it, but it is tasty. It's pretty good. It's smooth. What's the verdict?
Ooh, it's good. I like it. It's creamy.
Dadgummit. Now I want one. And I'm not a Pepsi guy, so.
Me neither. I'm a Coke guy, but I mean, it's a cool concept, man.
Oh yeah.
There you go, Coke right there. I always get the cherry vanilla Coke whenever I go see a movie. The freestyle, that's my go-to, cherry vanilla.
Damn, that's a good one. It's always Barks root beer with vanilla, and recently I've been on a blue raspberry icy kick, so that's been my go-to drink.
Ooh, nice, awesome. All right, well. Let's get down into it.
We got some movie news to start off.
Yeah, so we start off. Brett knows you watch the show. We start off with some movie news, so we'll go around and run down some topics here, and we're just gonna quick fire our opinions and whatnot, man. The verdict of I'm sold. Oh yeah,
Connor. Yeah, I told you, Connor, that was you were gonna like the shirt that I got for today.
All right, so real quick, guys, let's run down some of the news here. So. Coming up in the first topic, we got Sonic opening in theaters this week, looking to claim number one at the box office from obviously Dr. Michael Morbius.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. Brett, you saw the movie, right? You saw Sonic 2 recently.
Oh, absolutely, I did, and I fell in love with it. Like, just the more I think about it, the more I'm loving it. Like, it's at a 4 out of 5 range, but if we're not careful, it might go to a 4.5.
No, I was telling Tony as soon as we came out, and it's in our review. But it felt to me like I was 13 years old again, back in like 94, playing on my Sega Genesis. I was actually 11 years old. Anyways, playing on my Sega, and like that level where they're like in the cave and they got the arrow shooting out, is like exactly straight from the video game.
Yeah. Now, I was late to the party on Sonic. I didn't see the first one in theaters. Then the pandemic hit. Gabe finally was like, we got to see this movie. Let's go review this movie. He was on the hype train for it. So I was like, all right, I'll go like rent it.
Well, Sonic was the last movie I saw before the pandemic hit and they shut down all the theaters. Sonic was the last one I went to.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay. Hey, kind of funny story. As I was waiting for this show to go on air, I actually was watching Watch Mojo top 10 Sonic villains. So I'm still in the Sonic mood right now.
You know what's funny is like I didn't see the first movie up until like 2 days ago. I really dug it. I shockingly liked it a lot more than I even thought I would.
Right.
Especially since I waited so long, didn't really bother with it. put it on. We grabbed snacks. We were sitting here. I was like, I really, really like this movie. And Jim Carrey's a big selling point. I love Jim Carrey.
Mm-hmm.
And he's totally just 90s Jim Carrey.
This is like Jim Carrey at his carriest.
Oh, at 60 years old, he's still doing the cartoony moves, the faces,
Right.
all those things you expect from him. And I was sold with that. But a lot of it, too, is a lot of buildup in the first movie and introducing you to that lore. And the second movie is just like they nosedive right into all the video game stuff. You got Tails in there. There's so many moments. Even when like there's a moment when he's running through and he's like, it's like something you would see if Sonic was if you left Sonic idle in the game and he does a little animation,
The little tap.
Yeah, and I enjoyed that one a lot. I think I might enjoy the second one more than the first one, honestly. And it's that expansion of the lore, the fun that it brings. I had a fun time with it, man. It was good.
Oh yeah, I definitely enjoyed the second one more than the first one, and y'all pretty much just hit it on the mark of Jim Carrey. If Jim Carrey's allowed to be Jim Carrey, you're going to get a damn good performance because one of my favorite comedy movies of all time is Liar Liar. And that's just like, damn, I haven't seen Jim Carrey been this good since Liar Liar.
Yeah, man. Liar Liar, The Mask, like the guy was like in that 3-year span, the cable guy was
number 23.
Number 23. Some people love that movie. No lie. People love that movie.
I like it.
So that's Sonic. Sonic's taking number 1 at the box office, and rightfully so.
Oh, and what you think about the mid-credits scene? Sorry, real quick, because I freaked out. Like Gabe said, like I turned 11 years old in that mid-credits scene.
Oh yeah, spoiler real quick if anybody hasn't seen it. But you know what? It will just be. I guess we won't mention what it is. But I used to play that specific game back when it came out of that character. So I knew, even though I'm not like a big Sonic guy, I knew exactly what that was.
Yeah.
So
like I was like, okay. I'm waiting for Sonic 3 now. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, take my money.
The big thing will be is Jim gonna do it, because there's talks of him retiring. So I guess we'll have to see if he's gonna go ahead and do the third film.
Yeah, like it will hurt the film if he wasn't in the third one, but I'll be honest with you, I think he actually just served his purpose of what he is allowed to do. I feel like the only other story he can do left is create Metal Sonic. I felt like that's the only direction left of him. But other than that, I really don't necessarily need Jim Carrey in the future of the movies.
Right.
Yeah, no, it was fun, man. The effects are cool. It's got this cartoony video gamey look. Like it's the first video game movie that I can tell that totally embraces what video games are. You know, so like I enjoyed it. I'm excited that it's number 1. I mean, it's a sign that a lot of movies are back. Families are starting to head out to the theater. Hopefully nobody's going to see that god awful Morbius movie anymore. We'll never have to hear from it again.
I'm getting the 4K version, Steelbook, first day.
Oh my gosh! Like I was lastly, recently, I've been noticing video game movies are actually being done right as of late. Sonic's been done right. Uncharted was done right.
Yeah,
and then I would even go to say Tomb Raider. I know most people have negative thoughts about the Tomb Raider movie, the latest one, but I thought I really enjoyed it, and I want more from that particular Tomb Raider versus the Angelina Jolie one.
Yeah, no, actually, I enjoyed the reboot of Tomb Raider as well. It's closer to the new games too, for like the Xbox that they've come out with as well.
So, it pissed me off, like the main like negative about it. Like I won't say it on here, but like it really pisses me off. Like the main negative review about the new girl, like it pisses me off.
No, I think the new one's solid, and I think they already shot the sequel too. So I think I'm not sure when that's coming out, but they shot the sequel, and I know the director Ben Wheatley. He's a really, really solid director. So I'm excited to see where that goes. Julian saying Rampage. That's another one people dig a lot.
Yeah, well, our chat's going crazy with Liar Liar is a banger. My cousin Alex, there's one of his favorite films he said with Liar Liar. So shout out to my cousin and
the pin was blue.
So yeah, we got Sonic number 1 at the box office this weekend. Sure sign that the movies are alive. The box office is alive. Speaking of box office, Doctor Strange crashes ticket sales apps this week. Movie drops May 6th. There's controversy about the movie's slim 2-hour runtime. What do we think about it? Are we excited for Doctor Strange? Do we think it's going to be good?
I'm excited for it, but I just think that the runtime is just too small for a magnitude of multiverses are trying to build.
Yeah. What do we think, Brett?
It's about the 2 hours. If people watch Good Will Hunting, I always complain about movies being too long, unless if it's something that I'm really interested in. So I'm actually kind of happy for just a regular 2 hour like runtime, except for this one. This one, I feel like if Spider-Man No Way Home could be 2.5 hours, this movie needs to be 2.5 hours as well. So I'll actually be on the rare argument on this side that this movie should be 2.5 hours.
Oh, wow. I think I'm in the minority because I don't mind this movie being 2 hours. The first Doctor Strange was like an hour and a half, I believe. It's one of the shortest Marvel movies for sure. It's like 110 minutes, I think. But one thing that Sam Raimi is really good at is delivering really well-paced, crafted blockbusters. Both the first two Spider-Man movies are under 2 hours, I think. The third one is barely over 2 hours. The rest of his movies are around 90 minutes. So to me, it's a sign that Sam Raimi clearly had a say in what they were doing. The only downside I could see with this is, well, what does the multiverse stuff mean for the rest of the Marvel universe? You know, so if there's big consequences, then I agree. I think the movie needs to be a little longer. If not, I think it's perfectly fine the way it is if it's truly like a standalone Doctor Strange story. Right. But with talks of Professor X in there and all these other crazy characters, I don't know. I right now I'm in the middle. I got to see the movie. I got to see what we're dealing with. But the excitement is still there. But it's definitely strange that it's like barely 2 hours long.
Mm-hmm. Just like anytime a movie could be short where I don't have to like risk of like, crap, do I need to go to the bathroom during an important scene, all that, like I truly appreciate it. But lately I've been pretty good with like the 2.5 hour movies.
Every movie's been long lately. The Batman was 3 hours. Spider-Man's almost 3 hours.
Even Sonic was 2 hours, and I was surprised by that.
Sonic was 2 hours. I was shocked by the runtime of Sonic. I was like, wasn't the first one like 90 minutes?
Yeah, the first one was 90 minutes. But it looks like you guys never watched Blood In, Blood Out. That's like like 4 hours of prison gang violence.
I love long movies if it warrants the length, for sure. Let's check out the chat real quick before I get on to the next topics. Connor saying, I think it will be sensory overload with that runtime. Destiny says, hey, what's up, Destiny? Mia says, I feel like anything under an hour 45 is cutting. Yeah, that's a good point. And then Bloodbath and Beyond, can't wait for Doctor Strange. Multiverse is going to be nuts. So it seems to be like we're all excited, but cautious over this runtime.
Listen, in my eyes, Marvel could do no wrong.
Yeah.
And they've shown time and time again that they know how to pull off epics. I'm just a little worried about the runtime. I wouldn't mind 2 hours and 45 minutes, but we'll see.
I should note they've done over 30 days of reshoots on Doctor Strange. So, yeah, well, who knows what's going on? But I should also know that Marvel also contracts their actors to do like a month of reshoots. They've done this a ton of times, so. Who knows what Marvel? I mean, I think it's going to be solid. The question is, will it be like amazing?
As long as Morbius makes a cameo in this, I'm good. Love me some Jared Leto. I love me some Jared Leto.
All right, so that was Doctor Strange. All right.
Oh, sorry, I saw Destiny's comment. 2 hours and 6 minutes, I think.
Yeah, that's the exact runtime. 2 hours and 6 minutes. All right, so real quick, let's give John Cena some love, because John Cena's been, I think, for me, turning it around in terms of being a leading man with Peacemaker, The Suicide Squad, Bloodbath and Beyond. That's a lot of reshoots, but perhaps to reintroduce people who they didn't have back yet. That I agree with. From what I hear is they could be having characters that they didn't have before the reshoots, which could be pretty cool. Maybe some X-Men stuff. Who knows? Julian says, what's up with Love and Thunder? No trailer yet.
And it comes out in like 2 months.
In like 2 months. So, but that just means that something happens in Multiverse of Madness that they want us to see before we see a trailer. So
maybe we'll get a trailer when the Multiverse of Madness comes out.
Who knows?
Yeah, like at the end, like the end credits scene, it could be a trailer. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so John Cena news real quick. So according to reports from Deadline, Amazon has secured the rights to Cena's latest feature film project, Officer Exchange, a buddy cop adventure in which he plays a wrecking ball of a cop named Shep, based on a script by Ben Zizovi. I don't know what the fuck that name is. The film will see Cena's character team up with a local police officer to take down a diamond smuggling ring operated in India. What do we think? Is Cena, has he transcended into like a leading man role, or do we still see him as like a TV guy?
TV guy.
You think so?
Yeah.
I thought Peacemaker would have changed your mind.
No.
Really?
I think Cena is not a good actor. I mean, I've enjoyed a couple of stuff. I enjoyed Peacemaker, but I mean, that movie you just read to me screams like that.
Very 80s, 90s buddy cop movie.
That The Rock with Kevin Hart movie where it's Central Intelligence.
It's
a cop that teams up with a civilian. It's the same. He's following The Rock.
That's everybody.
He's following The Rock's formula. Sorry, there's only one Rock. The Rock is the best actor.
Let's throw it to Brett. You're just gonna give it. What are your thoughts on John Cena, Brett?
Well, I like John Cena, but my problem that pisses me off every time is I can't ever see him, so I really don't know what he looks like. I have to do it real quick.
Did you get a chance to see Peacemaker? Did you check that out?
Unfortunately, and shame on me, I have not seen Peacemaker yet, but I am off next week, so I might try to sneak that in to go see or to watch Peacemaker on HBO. But no, I like John Cena, but more towards the comedy side, not more towards the action side, because we've been there and done that with like big bulky guys. Like I will kind of honestly want to go back to like more of the Bruce Willis type action heroes, because he freaking changed the game with Die Hard.
That's true,
but I am willing to give Cena an opportunity to prove me wrong.
Yeah. So it looks like let's check out the chat. Cena is a good and hilarious bit part. So it seems like people like him in comedy roles in the chat.
When Cena is on a movie, it's a turnoff.
And then we got Connor saying, I think Cena is a blockbuster actor. Like The Rock is just The Rock in every movie, and when he isn't, he's not as good. Okay, yeah, that's a good point too. He was great in Blockers. Cena is much better in straight up comedy. Handsplayed. Yeah, no, Cena is
the one Cena movie with Amy Schumer. He was hilarious.
Oh, Trainwreck.
Trainwreck.
Now I would say Batista is better than Cena as an actor. I love me some Batista.
Yeah.
I would say it's like The Rock, Batista, and then Cena. Maybe Hulk Hogan in Suburban Commando, but that's another story.
Or Mr. Nanny.
Suburban Commando was Hogan's best role.
So yeah, I guess that's a little bit of Cena news there. So everybody's kind of like, whatever. It was a small week for movie news.
Everybody's still thinking about like Hulk Hogan and Suburban Commando. Like, what was that?
Yeah. Like, what movie is this guy talking about? And I guess we could talk about this real quick. But I don't want to dwell on it too much because I feel like that's all everybody's been talking about. It's played out, but we'll mention it anyway. Will Smith is banned for 10 years from any Oscars events. What do we think?
Sounds about right.
Yeah? What do you think, Brett?
It's just a slap on the wrist kind of punishment. Not good enough.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying that. I've heard both sides of people saying it's not good enough or it's too much. And I don't know what like where do you go?
There's no precedent. That's why.
What do you do? Connor saying real quick, guys. I'm sorry. No love for Cain and See No Evil 1 and 2. Bloodbath and Beyond seconds this. I've seen the first one. He was pretty cool in that movie. Have you seen those movies?
I've seen both of them. They were pretty cool, but there's no love for Cain in my eyes because it wasn't like he was like had a huge speaking role in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a Rock or Batista or Cena, Hogan back in his earlier stuff.
Yeah,
he was just like an evil presence, and he was like the killer. So I felt like his acting was going to be a little bit different.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, and See No Evil 2, I prefer over the first See No Evil, just because we have Catherine Isabel in it. We got Daniel Harris in it. That always makes a movie more enjoyable. But right to what Gabe said about Cain not being kind of recognized, kind of like what Cena and The Rock is. It's just, unfortunately, it's just the hate on the horror genre. That's what Cain's problem was. But people actually respect the horror genre. Cain would have actually been a great like role model for a horror icon potentially.
Because Cain had the height, and he could have been, one of those great, killers in one of these franchises. Because he had the height. I mean, they used Tyler Mane for Halloween.
That dude's like 6'11" or some shit, right?
Dude, that guy is tall. I met him twice in real life. That sucker is tall. I think that's even the first words I ever said to him when I first met him. I went, "Damn, you're tall." He just kind of giggled. But
Sabretooth. That's my Sabretooth right there. First X-Men, man.
Shit, and I didn't even know he played in one of my favorite high school movie when I was in high school of Troy. I didn't know he was in that movie either.
Oh wow, I didn't know he was in Troy.
With Brad Pitt?
Yeah, no, I had no idea he was in that.
Yeah, me neither. I bet he was the guy that Brad Pitt like annihilated at the beginning of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's like that era of Brad Pitt movies that kind of just all meshed together in my head. 2004, 2003 era. Let's check out the chat. Everybody's saying See No Evil 2 rocks. Bretman is on the jokes tonight. I will always say horror fans make the best horror actors. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Mhm.
So Will Smith, we kind of like quickly went away from that, but yeah, I guess we all agree that like what he did was pretty terrible, and you know,
I still think it was all staged. It is what it is, though.
Oscars need views, man.
Mhm.
You know what? Let's just get on to the main show.
Let's get on to the main show.
There's a lot of movies to talk. 5 movies to talk about.
5 movies,
So-
the best vacation spots to go to
Yes.
if you want to get scared.
So pretty much how we'll do this, we'll run this down. We'll talk about the 5 of the. Pretty much, we came up as a list, the 3 of us. Brett came up with a couple titles. Gabe came up with some titles, and then I said, okay, I'll pull these and what I agree with, and
Right.
we'll create one list of movies that we can talk about, and then at the end we can mention and shout out some other summer horror movies, some obvious ones that we revisit every year from time to time. Well, let's go ahead and we'll start off on the list here, and we'll go one by one. We'll we'll surprise everybody with the picks we got here.
And before we start, I just want to make a toast real quick. Here's to swimming with bow-legged women.
Oh yeah, man.
So I just love that Quentin line every time. It makes me laugh.
All right. So the first movie, let's start at the beginning, because this is the movie that started the blockbuster boom. I'm gonna take you to 1975.
Ooh, I wasn't born yet.
Yeah. You weren't born yet?
No.
Huh. This is the movie that changed Hollywood forever.
Damn.
That one hurt.
It's a little film called Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg. And this is one of those movies that could very easily be seen as like overrated or whatnot. But I think Jaws holds up beautifully.
I guess.
You're lying, because we were praising Jaws right before the show.
You were praising Jaws.
I was praising Jaws.
I wasn't praising Jaws.
But let's do our quick thoughts real quick on Jaws. Like what?
Well, I'm gonna give Bretman here the
Let's
start.
give Brett.
Let's get your thoughts on Jaws.
Man, what do I think about this 4K version of Jaws?
That version is perfect, and that's the version that I own, man.
It's absolutely beautiful. Just like this movie is absolutely beautiful. This is like the 3rd time I've ever watched it, and I had the controversial opinion for the longest time. I preferred Crawl over Jaws. I know a lot of people like just hated me for it, but now I can right the wrong and say Jaws is almost nearly a perfect film. I personally gave it a 5 out of 5. Mainly what holds up for me about this movie is just how damn good the score is. Because like they know when to ramp it up, they know when to quiet it down. Like they know to kind of make you feel like weary or like tense, like you don't know what's going to happen. It's all because of the score. I feel like it's one of the best horror scores and one of the best scores in cinema history, in my opinion.
Right. The theme song is classic. I would say that. I mean, everybody knows that. Dun, dun.
You ever notice that the best theme songs are like so basic?
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
just
simplicity.
It's just simplistic, yeah.
For me, I mean, it's I would say it is one of the perfect summer movies. Takes at the beach. Everybody's going on vacation. There's horror involved, right? I'm just not a big fan of Jaws. I have issues with it. You know, I have issues with it.
I did not know this.
And our episode for like the episode for like which movie do you want to see remade? I made a case for Jaws. I was like, Jaws needs to be remade, like updated for the new version. And I will die on that hill that Jaws. Many people say Jaws is untouchable. I don't think so. Jaws is touchable. You could remake it. In fact, my hill will be that. What's the? Oh man, I forgot the name of the movie. Anyways,
I think you're a crazy person.
That's what I'm saying. People think I'm crazy. Yes. Jaws
Do not talk to Robbie Sobel about your opinions on
Oh,
this movie because he
man.
has literally blocked people for people not liking Jaws. He literally blocks them. So
Listen,
do not tell Robbie.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I like Jaws, right? I have an issue that's supposed to be summer and people are wearing heavy jackets and sweaters.
Well, it's New York.
No,
or
it's not.
New England or whatever.
It's New England.
They're back east. You know,
that's
they do
supposed to
weird
be a
things
summer
over there. All right.
So I don't know. I just feel like Jaws is a great summer movie, though. It is. I mean, they take what's the essence of summer, right, into it. The beach, the swimming.
I got the perfect director to remake Jaws. Tommy Wiseau.
No.
Well, I do not agree with that. I think Jaws is one of those movies that who's going to want to remake Jaws 1? And how do you even do it? You can't unless you do a requel thing that they've been doing for the past 5-6 years, where it's just like, oh, well, like it's the son of Brody. And it's like, the same thing happening like the first movie. It's just, there's no point unless you're trying to update effects.
Yeah, I found it. Deep Blue Sea is the better shark movie.
You're a psychopath.
Man, I just wish a shark came out right now and eat you just like Samuel Jackson.
I agree. No, for me, Jaws, what holds up is the casting in the movie, man, is just Spielberg knew coming off of, he did Duel and he did the Sugarland Express, that you need world-class actors to do these thriller horror films. And in the 70s, they were at your expense. You had everybody wanting to do these.
Alexander Aja should definitely remake it. He should, anything that's feature film, he should.
He's like the king of this list too, man. Alexander Aja is like all over this list.
Yes.
But no, I think that Spielberg's the main reason that this holds up. It's the simplicity. There's a sense of knowing when to strike with a shark, when to show it, when to pay off. And you have a great character actor in Roy Schneider carrying the film, and you got Richard Dreyfuss along the way, who looks like a young Seth Rogen in this. So there you go.
I knew why I wanted to punch him in the face so many times.
He's just missing the laugh. Can you do the Seth Rogen laugh?
No. I was going to try to, but
I don't think anybody can. Yeah. But no, for me, it's the actors that keep it above that, man. It's just the effects are cool. The score is iconic, but the characters, there's this Alfred Hitchcock sense of when to strike with the characters that really, really works. And then we have in the chat going, we got Alexander Aja, Mia's talking about Ty West kind of killed it with that alligator scene in X, and I'd love to see him do a creature feature. That would be great.
He could do Jaws. He could remake Jaws.
Yeah, but I'd like to address Mia's comment earlier, thinking I think directors are terrified to remake Jaws. That's why it hasn't been remade yet, because it's going to be on that category. You do not touch Jaws. But Gabe, I think you said it. No movie is really honestly safe. Like, they can actually remake or reboot anything that they very well want. They just know the consequences if they actually do, and the backlash from the fans.
Like, to me, a movie that I think should never be remade is The Exorcist, and guess what? They're touching it. So
a trilogy too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the original Exorcist should never be touched. It's perfect the way it is. That's my perfect movie, is The Exorcist, and it's being remade. So if The Exorcist could be remade, why can't Jaws? Like, I don't see a problem with remaking Jaws.
One of them has a Spielberg, and Spielberg will never let anybody touch Jaws. I just think it's that he will never.
I think people have put Spielberg on a pedestal. What has he done recently?
All right, can we stop the show? Stop it.
He was my 90s. along with John Williams, because that's the composer, because John Williams one of the absolute best composers in cinema history with his work on Star Wars, Jurassic Park, Harry Potter, the list goes on. And Jaws, I would put on there as one of his all-time great ones.
Indiana Jones, man, like everything he does is just so simple.
You can't argue with that.
No.
Argue it out with that.
Spielberg bad mouthing was crazy. I couldn't believe that. I actually enjoyed the West Side Story remake. I watched it the other day. I liked it.
I still need to catch that out because it does look really well presented. So I need to catch that on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's classic Spielberg. It's got great shots, great acting. Music numbers are cool. It's it follows the same beats as the original, but it's a cool time. I can't say it's fun. It's a tragic movie.
Yeah, I think it has the girl that's in the release new movie of Ambulance too, where she plays the nurse in that ambulance scene.
Oh, is she in that?
Well, she looks very familiar to that because I've been seeing her in a lot more things recently. Kind of like what Jenna Ortega. I've been seeing her in almost every new horror movie that comes out every month. So
yeah, she's everywhere, man. All right, so that was Jaws. I mean, verdict is it's one of the best summer movies. It's not just summer horror; it's summer period.
I would say the summer movie because like if you go Killfreaks right now and just type in the question, if you think of summer horror movie, one movie, what would it be? And I bet you 9% will say Jaws.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, it holds up, man. One of the things I would love to do is see it on the big screen again. I've had the opportunity to see Halloween on the big screen, Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street was a great experience seeing that again. I would love to see this re-released. So,
but would you watch it in a lake with a big projector screen and you got to sit in the tube in the ocean? Would you watch it there?
I would love to do that. I've seen screenings where they do that. Yeah,
because that's a dream of mine to do that.
We should start some sort of petition to have Steven Spielberg punch you in the face.
Let's do it. I'll take a punch from Steven Spielberg.
Just for the hot take.
Go support my Indiegogo campaign.
I mean, come on now. How many subscribers do you think we get to the channel if we like posted a video of Steven Spielberg punches this Mexican in the face?
I think we would be like the hottest channel ever.
Like, we'd be like, yeah, this dude. Be like, hey, do you guys watch this show about this guy that got punched by Steven Spielberg?
Like, I don't know. He just talks about movies or something. All right, so let's jump into the second film on the list. So we jumped from Jaws. I mean, we have to shout out the classic. It was on all of our, I believe, it was on all of our lists. So like, yeah, that was pretty.
As much as I talk shit about Jaws, right? It's a summer movie. You can't go wrong with Jaws at all.
So the next one I'm going to shout out, I say let's keep it within the chronologically from which year they released. This one's kind of a controversial pick, but I was curious because I believe it was on Brett's list and on your list. So I was like, all right, well, let's talk about it because I'm very interested to see what you both have to say. It's the 1997 post-Scream slasher, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it takes place over the 4th of July.
4th of July, baby.
Yeah, that's like the summer holiday. It's 4th of July, fireworks, you got a killer in a small fisherman community. It's the one, it's like a great summer movie just to have fun with. There's fireworks, there's killing, there's boobs. What else do you want in a summer movie?
Wait a minute, what version of I Know What You Did Last Summer did you watch?
I was about to say.
What do you mean?
No, seriously, is there an unrated version? Because I need to check that out.
Oh, talking about Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Jennifer Love.
No, that's Jennifer Love Huge Tits. Get it right.
What are your thoughts on the movie, Brett?
I really enjoy it. I have a good time with it. On this latest rewatch, though, I did see a lot more negatives this time around, and just how hard it tries to be Scream. Because again, Scream changed the game in the 90s, with how a lot of people say it saved the slasher genre, but one of my friends who I support on his channel, Sinister Cinema of Jason, he came out with a really damn good video saying why that was not the case of why Scream did not save the horror genre. So if y'all have not checked that out, highly suggested because it's a really good video. But Scream did make a big influence, though, and you can easily see it in I Know What You Did Last Summer because they tried really hard to get a cool-looking killer for friends, trying to solve mysteries. Pretty much all they were missing at that point is the dog.
Yeah. It's a Scooby-Doo. It's got almost 50% of the cast, too. So
no, like legit. Like, you have Freddy, you got Freddy and Velma. Like, holy crap. So, yeah, they're just missing the dog and the guy that gets stoned. So yeah, it's a really fun movie. I have a good time with it. Like it has like good mood and atmosphere to it. But yeah, it tries so hard to be Scream. I wish it was just focusing on its own movie and just focusing on being different versus just replicating.
So I'm a fan of this one, and I think Listen, I actually do. I think a lot of people do not like the Dimension post-Scream slasher renaissance that happened. Like Urban Legend. I would even throw in The Faculty. It's got the same setup except for aliens. I love all those movies.
I love
that. Was my introduction into horror. Was that like generation of films?
Teaching Mrs. Tingle.
Yeah, all those movies. Like I watched that with my aunt, so like it was fun to see that stuff. I do like this movie. It is very by the numbers, but you know what saves it? The cast. The cast is awesome. This is one of the best slasher casts. Like they're so talented and fun and
very good looking,
and they're sexy as fuck.
All of them. Ryan Phillippe, starting with Ryan Phillippe.
Yeah,
he was like the original Jared Leto.
He's a sexy motherfucker.
He was with those curly hairs.
He's got like the frosted tips too.
Yeah.
Oh, Freddie Prinze Jr. has got to be one of the coolest guys. We got to get him on the show. Freddie Prinze is like the guy I wanted to be as a kid. I saw She's All That one time, and I said, I'm sold. I want to be this guy. He's like captain of the basketball team and shit. Like, I need to be this guy.
Yes.
He turns a like duckling into like this beautiful swan. She like changes. He has a bed on the side with Paul Walker. But anyway, that's a movie for a whole new episode. But no, the cast in this is awesome. There's a great chase sequence that I really love with Sarah Michelle Gellar. And overall, the vibe is very 90s. It's like lighthearted. It doesn't really do anything that's that wrong. By the very least, it's just a very by-the-numbers slasher movie with a very good-looking cast. And I think that's all it needed.
With a false ending, though. I think my issue with that movie was the false ending. The way it ended, and then you have the sequel, and it's sort of like the ending of the first one. I was like, I don't know.
But yeah, no, it was a big hit too. It made like $125 million.
Right.
So I know what you did last summer, and I think it's a controversial pick in the chat.
It is. There's not a lot of fans in this. We have Connor is not a fan of it. Alex is not a fan either.
Bloodbath and Beyond saying he's a fan. He says, I for one love it. He's saying he loves it. We got Flamethrower in here.
Forever Fluff.
Yeah, he's supporting Brett here. We got Mia saying she loves it. It's cheesy, but it's a classic. So this one was definitely the controversial pick. So it was interesting to see you guys talk about it because when you both said
and plus Kevin Williamson wrote I Know What You Did Last Summer too. So of course that's where I got a lot of the Scream influence from.
Yeah.
And I bet like the studios told him, hey, go ahead and make the next Scream. He goes, but I just made Scream. Like, just do it anyway. Okay.
No, that's exactly it, man. It's
plus, Sarah Michelle Gellar should have been the main girl. I don't think Jennifer Love Hewitt should have been the main girl. That's a controversial opinion for me, but
you know what I think it was is that Sarah Michelle Gellar had Buffy, so I think it would have been like, oh, let's like make Buffy the like, the popular one, and then we have Sarah Michelle Gellar as like the innocent main character. So I think at that time they probably thought it would have made sense.
Well, you had Jennifer Love Hewitt. She was coming off that Party of Five TV show, and then she had that movie
Can't Hardly Wait.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
So she was getting a lot of heat. So I think they wanted to make her the final girl because of that.
Yeah,
it's like that sweet, basically by the numbers final girl, virgin. That's what she was prior to all this movies. All her roles that she had were those sweet little The Girl Next Door roles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And plus Sarah Michelle Gellar too was also doing Scream 2 that same year as well. So her schedule was really busy.
Yeah.
So that is I Know What You Did Last Summer.
The 4th of July queen.
Yeah, she is, man. So yeah, that was I Know What You Did Last Summer. And let's jump to this is a movie that I feel like, I've seen it a good amount of times, but every time I watch it, like, I think it gets better and better. And it's a movie that's not really talked about much in the horror community. But if you do find people that love it, they really fucking love it.
I love it.
This is the first movie in the list that we've mentioned. And we're going to mention this guy for the next 3 movies because he kind of becomes the king of summer horror. It's Alexander Aja's The Hills Have Eyes, 2006.
I put that on my list. That was like number 1 on my list. Perfect summer movie in the desert.
It's his vision into Wes Craven's world of sideshow terror. It's a family vacation gone wrong.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it, guys. What do we think of The Hills Have Eyes?
Fuck no. That shit's scary.
Oh yeah, it is scary. It easily makes you feel uncomfortable as well. Especially that scene in the second act where it's that trailer and just all hell
Right.
breaks loose. Like I was on the edge of my seat on first time watch. But to me, this is one of the remakes. Not only is it great, it far surpasses the original of what it did. I absolutely love it, and the third act is so underappreciated. I don't feel like the third act gets talked about enough with how awesome the final guy. Let me get his name real quick. Doug. Yeah. So Doug just going like he had a major character arc for this movie because he was the cell phone geeky guy at the beginning and he
Right.
turned to this ultimate final guy badass. Kind of almost had almost the same transformation as Ash Williams does, but he doesn't get that Ash Williams treatment. Which I understand is Ash Williams. Like, come on, man, the ultimate final guy of all time. But he's still like Doug should get a lot more recognition.
Yeah, this movie as a whole should get a lot more recognition. And like you said, I mean, he started off as this liberal, anti-gun, no violence type of guy to at the end just being this badass motherfucker and was just, having his way with these people. But I mean, I threw it on there as summer horror because of the vacation. They were doing a road trip. I mean, what screams summer vacation as, jumping in with your family and doing a cross country, road trip. And then to have everything that happened go wrong with them. And we were
It's
talking
like you
at dinner.
viciously kill off the Griswolds.
We were talking, we had dinner before this, and we're talking, we're saying, this family, out of all families in horror, didn't deserve none of this. Like, they weren't bad people. They weren't actively looking for, something bad to happen for them. They were just going on somebody's anniversary trip to Los Angeles, and all of a sudden they get into this horrible, horrible situation.
Yeah, horrible CGI when the dad got burned.
That's true.
That's what I really know. It's like, oh my god, the CGI pretty poor. But no, Gabe, you're absolutely right, Fo. This family did absolutely nothing, and they actually does a really good job. This movie, making you care about the family. Like they are just acting like a normal family. Like I know, like they're actors and actresses, but they really bought into their roles of making a family like feel genuine. And yeah, I just feel guilty just with bad shit happening to them, and they didn't do anything wrong.
No, not at all. And then the dog, they got killed. I was like, man, they killed the dog.
Beauty and Beast.
Right.
I fucking love this movie. And again, it's a movie. Every time I watch, I'm like, damn, like it's just fucking like it's gritty, it's white knuckled, it's incredibly tense, but super well directed. And like the cast is really good, and it's a bunch of familiar people that like, okay, like I've seen them and stuff. Buffalo Bill is in it, obviously. We got the kid from Easy A.
The chick from Hocus Pocus.
The chick from Hocus Pocus. But you put these people through danger, and it's just like it's a well-meaning family. You have the general and his wife and the son-in-law and the baby and the loving dogs, and it's just like, well, what if we just like viciously fuck with these people and murder them in sick ways to the point that like the main character snaps and he goes on this hero's journey where he's just like, fuck.
They stole his baby.
They stole his baby, and he's got to like the dude just totally does a 180. The effects and the gore in this, I believe, were done by, I think Victoria looked up on it, Greg Nicotero, who does The Walking Dead.
He was in it too.
And he was in it too, which is really cool because the practical effects in this are awesome. And Alexander Aja does a really good mix of practical effects and some CGI touches too with all of his movies. But what I love about this is just it's vicious summer horror. It's hot, it's sweaty. But it's got fantastic characters and a third act that pays off very well, where you're like, fuck yeah, like fuck them up. So this is like high on my list. This has got to be one of the best horror remakes for sure.
Yes. And then you feel bad for Little Red Riding Hood at the end of the movie. Like throughout the movie, she's trying to help them out. Like she's not like the bad character. She's not like the rest of the, the people in her town. And it's like, oh man, at the end, and it's like, oh man, why'd you do that for?
Right.
Felt bad for her. I thought you could save her,
Yeah, exactly. And I have The Hills Have Eyes. That's the best horror remake of all time for me.
Wow. Yeah, no, I don't disagree, man. This is one of those movies. Every time me and Victoria put it on, we're like in the mood to watch. I'm like, damn, this movie is like really fucking good.
Did you watch the unrated or the rated?
Unrated. Like, there's only one way to go with that movie. It's unrated.
Yep.
Unrated is better for everything.
I did not watch the unrated this time. I think I've seen it. I don't know. But Gabe was telling me the unrated was really fucking violent.
It
So
was.
I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah, and that scene where the gas attendant blows his head off, holy crap, the effects on that.
Really good effects.
Yeah, no.
Oh my gosh, dude.
This movie's great. And to me, it's just a testament to Alexander Aja hasn't directed enough horror movies. Like he's done High Tension, he's done Crawl, he's done Piranha, but like, man, give this guy everything. And he was supposed to do Jason. There's a universe out there where he does Jason. It probably would have been the best Jason movie ever. So
yeah, and High Tensions is on my on my to-do list for next week because that is a feature Slash It Out episode we're going to cover on the Good Real Hunting for Slash It Out.
It's crazy, man. If you like the effects in this, the effects in that are probably there's some vicious stuff in there where I was like, oh man, I had to look away.
Sold. I'm ready for it.
So that is The Hills Have Eyes. So that brings us to our next film on the list, which is this is a movie I dragged my parents to see, and
You dragged your parents.
I was so excited from the people involved. Eli Roth was in the trailers, Ving Rhames, and I was obsessed with Pulp Fiction at that point when I was like becoming movie obsessed.
Is it bad when you say Ving Rhames? I think of Mars Attacks.
Yeah, I guess.
All right.
But the movie on the list is another Alexander Aja banger. It's Piranha 3D. This movie was like, when I saw the trailer, and it's just like, oh, there's my childhood crush. There's Elizabeth Shue, and she's like the sheriff of this small town.
Don't
yeah,
lie.
Scott.
Your childhood crushes when it was not Elizabeth.
It was Elizabeth Shue.
It was all like the 4 porn stars that were in this movie.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, come on, Kelly Brooks, man. Come on now.
I always forget there's some porn stars in this movie too.
You can't forget that.
I think you can't forget that.
Of course not.
But the next movie on the list, guys, is Piranha 3D. This is a batshit wild movie. It's bananas. It's crazy. I'll let you guys go first. Brett, I think this is your first time watch. If I'm correct.
It was my very first time watch on Piranha 3D. And I really had a good time with it. I'm glad they did that first scene just because they just set the tempo of the movie because I thought they were going to be serious with it. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're in for a cholesterol. But luckily, they established the tone of the movie in that first scene. And so I just turned off my brain and I had an absolutely amazing time with this movie. And we're not going to talk about Elizabeth Shue because we're saving that for next week as we settle the debate of why frickin' Danielson is an evil bastard.
I'm going to have to go up to bat for Danielson because the Karate Kid's one of my favorites. So, Adventures in Babysitting.
But Elizabeth Shue is awesome in this movie. Like, she does a really good job.
She's buff. She's built. She's like you said.
She's ripped in this movie, man. She's totally shredded. And she carries the movie. It's so cool to see. I love that kind of thing where it's just like, hey, remember this actress that like doesn't get enough work as of recently, but she's like this Oscar winner, has done all of these incredible 80s movies. She's the lead of this really tense, high concept B movie.
Right.
And she's a total badass looking after her kids and fighting these killer CGI piranhas. And it's awesome. It's cool to see. And we have Ving Rhames as like her sidekick. You know, like that right there, you got to be sold on it. Like that's the concept.
This is the second movie that I remember that Ving Rhames always has like this horde of like enemies going, and he's just taking them out one by one. You know, he had the boat motor this time, and then Mars Attacks. You know, he was just punching the little Martians.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's he's got to be like a genre veteran at this point.
Oh yeah.
And I think he was in the sequel too. I don't remember much of Piranha 3D. Other than it's in the.
He couldn't be in a sequel if he died in the first one.
No, I think in the sequel there's like a line where he's like, "Bring me my legs," and he has mechanical legs.
Oh, okay.
Somebody like correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I remember that being somewhere. Bloodbath and Beyond. I don't remember if Gianna was in 1 and 2. She was in 1.
She was in 1. Gianna Michaels.
Yeah. I only noticed that in the most recent rewatch. I think it's just because my adult brain just like,
No, I used to watch her.
I used to watch her. But it was funny seeing that. I love Elizabeth Shue. She's hot in Cobra Kai. Yeah, she was great in Cobra Kai. Yeah, so Piranha 3D is crazy. Another Alexander Aja film. The cast is nuts. We haven't even mentioned Jerry O'Connell in this, who's like this parody of Girls Gone Wild director types. He gets his penis chewed off, and it's one of the funniest scenes in the movie.
I had no words.
Then they like throw it up in the ocean. You see it floating away, and then he bites it again.
Yeah,
and throws it away again.
And the piranha burps it up.
Yeah. It goes through so much, and he's having the time of his life playing this kooky, like sleazeball of a character too. So it's cool seeing like actors like that in this. Christopher Lloyd.
Well,
I mean, I love Christopher Lloyd.
He played the role of Joe Francis, and Jerry, and who's the creator of Girls Gone Wild, and he got sued by Joe Francis. And he can't say that he based his character off Joe Francis, but he'll wink and be like, "Yeah, this is how Joe Francis acts." So apparently, this whole thing was how Joe Francis acted when he did Girls Gone Wild, like the cocaine, the underage girls, the whole, just having girls nude on the boats. That's exactly how Joe Francis lived his life during Girls Gone Wild.
But hold on a minute. Jerry O'Connell's character's name was Derek, right?
It was, yes.
He played Derek in Scream 2. So technically he survived his bullet shot to the chest, and he got so messed up, just erased his memory of his events of Scream 2. So he decided to be a porn director. So come on now, there's no difference.
Yeah, it ruined his life. Sidney sent that man down pretty badly.
So funny story though, right?
Yeah, I appreciate you taking a bullet for me, but we're going to have to break up.
is my cousin Alex, who's been in this chat. He at one point owned every single Girls Gone Wild DVD.
Alex has left the chat.
Oh my gosh. Who had better collection, him or Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother?
Listen, he would call me, "Bro, I got the new DVD. Come on over." And myself would be like, "I'll be there in 2 minutes."
I say, "Come on over." Like, I'm not sure if two dudes are supposed to share the. Okay, fuck it. Do you have beer? Like, let's go beer. Like, okay.
It's a good family moment.
So Bloodbath, yes, it's the multiverse. Yes, the multiverse. So yeah, this movie's crazy. It's bloody. The cast is very good. You have that great little bit in the beginning with Richard Dreyfuss, a little wink to Jaws.
Right.
Eli Roth plays a party boy in this. I love Eli Roth.
So it's a little bit of a cheat though, because it does take place in spring break.
Yeah.
In Lake Havasu or Lake Victoria, I guess. But it's still, I still consider it summer because it's beach and it's desert
partying.
It's partying.
I'm like, I can't differentiate.
I watched this movie actually every summer. And last summer I showed it to Victoria because she couldn't remember if she'd seen this or Shark Night. And I was like, no, we got to rewatch Piranha because Piranha's the shit. So I rewatched
that whole Bloodbath. Like, I was just like, my mouth was like that. Like, I couldn't believe the chaos that was ensuing. So I will actually, like, if I ever do a top 5 like chaotic scenes in a horror movie, that scene will always be in my top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad it was your first time watching. You enjoyed it because it, like, when I saw this when I was younger, I was just like, this movie's shit. Like, I remember seeing it, like the amount of boobs that was on there, the piranhas. It was just like the perfect, everything just came into, like, not when I say a perfect movie because it's not perfect, but it was just a fun.
It's so much fun, man.
Yes, it's such a fun B movie.
It knows exactly what it is. It's not trying to be a high like caliber film, or I guess elevated horror, as people say now. It's just,
but it started a whole new genre, right? Like of Sharknado types, all those type of weird animal with insert your natural disaster into it. It started that whole genre of it.
Yeah.
And I remember going to Blockbuster and seeing it on the shelf. I'm like, what is this Piranha 3D? And then seeing like the little piranha sort of like reminded me of Jaws, the cover of Jaws. So it's sort of like, okay, I'm gonna check this out.
Yeah, no, it's a great movie, man.
Man, Tony, did you say that you went to go see this movie with your parents?
I did. I was.
What the hell were their reactions like? Like you all like going to see Piranha 3D, and with everything that transpired was offered to us.
The thing is, my parents are very weird about the movies that we would go see because I didn't really have like oh, you can't watch this or you can't watch that. But it was very much like if I could sell him in the movies because he's not a big movie guy. If I could sell him, like I remember we went to go see Bad Boys 2. She's like, oh yeah, let's go see Bad Boys 2, which isn't for kids or anything. But selling him on this was, I don't even remember, but I remember begging to see it. It was me, my mom, my dad, and my sister. And my mom just like whispering to me the whole time, like, you are not picking the next movie. I can't believe you took us to see this. It's the last I heard about it, but it was worth every minute from seeing it.
So,
I bet it was worth every last minute.
So you took your entire family to see Piranha 3D, and you're saying watching Girls Gone Wild with my cousin is bad?
This
I know, right? Jerry McConnell's
3D grown men sitting together watching this. Like, I don't know what you guys are doing. These girls, you're having these secret coded meanings of like, hey, I got this new tape. Are you gonna come through? Like, this sounds really strange. It sounds like back alley deals or something, but it's with your cousin. It's very weird. But anyway, yeah, Piranha 3D, man. It's fire. It's good.
It's fire. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
So the next movie on the list is, I was so high on this movie coming out of it. This is from 2019, and this movie snuck up on me because I knew of it. I knew Sam Raimi's producing it. I was like, all right, I'll check it out. Like, the premise is cool. And I met actually Jason from Sinister Cinema. Me and him saw this together. He's like, hey, you want to go see Crawl with me?
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So it was like storming in Arizona. It was like the weather was bad. And we're like, yeah, let's go see it.
You went to the movie with somebody else? You cheated on me?
I did.
What the hell?
Me and Jason, he held my hand the whole time too.
If you're looking for a new member of Flopbuster, I'm right here. So
yeah. So me and Jason went to go see it, and we both were like, yeah, like we think it's gonna be pretty cool. Like Alexander Aja, who I forgot was even directing it. And we were just like blown away by the level of suspense and tension and everything you expect from an Alexander Aja movie condensed into an 85-minute runtime with great practical effects and gore, two fantastic leads in the father and daughter roles, and Barry Peppers and the lead girl as well. And I love this movie. It was actually, I'm pretty sure, one of my favorite horror movies of that year, 2019, which was stacked with great horror movies in general. So I love Crawl. And this was 100% going to be on my list. I knew it wasn't going to be on Gabe's list. So I'm going to go over to Brett because I knew for a fact it was on yours.
Yeah, and that's how this whole episode, You All and Find Me On, actually happened, because we talked about Crawl from the last stream. Or was it last stream or 2 streams ago? I can't remember.
It might have been 2 streams ago, maybe.
Yeah, because last week was the Final Girl stream. Yeah, that's right.
It was the comedy or the 80s movies. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So my story real quick about Crawl. Me and my brother were hanging out. Our main mission was to go see Spider-Man Far From Home. But then they had like a ticket time change and all that. So we had time to kill. And then we saw the poster for Crawl, and I remember the trailer for it, and I'm liking it. I was like, you want to go see Crawl just to kill time? I'm like, yeah, okay. And we figure like just go in, have a good time with it. We didn't think it was going to be anything great or all that. Boy, I was proven wrong, man. This was a great crocodile feature. I loved the whole setting with the whole hurricane and the house being flooded and all that. And Kaya, I think that's how you say it. I'm not even going to attempt to say her last name because I butchered the hell out of names already. But she was absolutely great in this. Just like kind of like facing her own issues, like, and her issue with, or her damaged relationship with her dad. I love their bond and how they develop their, or kind of like fix their issues as the movie progresses. I think all that's great. I think the crocodile looks absolutely great. Wait, alligator, sorry. There's 2 different species, but the alligator looks actually really damn good in this. And I love how they used the shadows to hide the CGI of the gator. Absolutely well done. It's brutal as all hell. There's some medical issues that I had a problem with, like especially when the main girl, Haley, gets her leg chewed on at the beginning, and how she could just swim normally later on in the movie. Yeah, I have a little bit of an issue with that. But overall, absolutely love Crawl. It's actually one of the most shocking movies of the 2010s for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. There's a lot of logic issues in this. The dad should be dead.
A lot of logic issues.
But he somehow makes it through the entire film. So there's that. Real quick, I want to jump to the comments before Gabe. So we got Connor here. I've never met Jason in person, but somehow he holds my hand all the time too. Glad I'm not alone on that, Tony. Yes, Jason's very good at that. He's very comforting. And Mia says, as a Floridian, I do love Crawl, but my biggest complaint is the neon eyes. Oh yeah, Mia is Florida woman. Yeah. What do we think of Crawl?
I like Crawl. Well, I don't know why you think I didn't
I
like
could have
Crawl.
swore back when Crawl came out, and
Dude,
I
own Crawl.
I was on the hype train for Crawl, and you told me Crawl wasn't that good.
I didn't even see it. One of the movies I didn't see in 2019. Like, I regret not seeing this movie at the theaters. I saw it when I went to this replay, and here this replay is a used DVD store.
It's great. It's the best.
I bought Crawl on Blu-ray for like $2.
Are you telling me you did a whole bit of not liking a movie?
I always do that to you.
So you haven't seen this movie up until recently?
I saw it in 2019.
But on video.
On video. I loved it. And then I saw it again 2 days ago. Still loved it.
Okay.
I'm out of here.
Oh, look at that. We got
Hey guys.
Hey, Bert.
I'm not going to do that spiel, but I can't believe you, Gabe.
So I have
first off, Crawl Crawl is $2.99. That's criminal. Like, it deserves to get the $16 to $20 treatment.
Well, no, it's a used DVD store.
No, I'm definitely out here now.
I would be offended if it was in the $5 bin at Walmart, because that's just that's the death sentence. It's just we can't.
Yeah, that's the ultimate sign of disrespect right there. Like, $1 from Dollar General gets more respect than a $5 bin.
Would it be fitting because Florida loves Walmart?
Ask Mia.
I think this is true. Mia, does Florida love Walmart? We'll see what she has to say on that. But
and Crawl deserves a 4K release. I just want to say that too.
It does. I would definitely agree. I mean, Crawl is perfect. You have the hurricane season. You had, the whole family dynamic of the divorce, and how come you don't come to my swim meets anymore? And I didn't want to be disappointment. So it has a lot of backstory to that. It's just not like a creature feature. You still it still hits home with all the family elements to it. So I mean,
it does a lot of things that I love. I love bottle movies where you could take a concept and it's just done in this small location, like Panic Room, or recently Kimmy was another one I really loved. Crawl is one of those, or Buried, where it's just like you take a character, they're put into this circumstance that is high concept, it's a life endangerment, but they're stuck in this small space. And here it's the house, it's under the floorboards and stuff,
right,
while a hurricane is taking place.
Which, why it's almost like the perfect Florida movie though? It's because in the middle of a hurricane, you had this group of people trying to steal an ATM.
Oh yeah, the freaking looters, man.
Screams Florida. Like, yo, there's a hurricane. Let's go steal this ATM. And while we're stealing the ATM, let's ransack the store for some treats.
Hot dogs.
Freaking 2 hot dogs with no bun in it. Right.
Hey, yo, let me get 2 wieners.
You know what? I'm glad they got eaten. Fuck those guys. But
okay, Mia has confirmed. We do love ourselves some Walmart. We are the people of Walmart. If you haven't watched that on YouTube, please do. I guess we have to check that out.
Yeah, send a link, Mia, and because I want to watch that, because that sounds hilarious.
All right, so that was Crawl. That was the last film on the list. So what I want to do now is, if you guys have any films you want us to shout out either in the comments or you two as well. If there's any films that you thought, obviously these should be on the list, but we didn't put them on there. What's another summer horror movie that you would want to talk about?
Sorry, I'm trying to pull up my list real quick, but the first one I can easily mention that a lot of people will say is Texas Chainsaw Massacre because of the Texas heat.
Yeah, it's the big one, man. It's and it is another perfect summer horror movie. It is, yeah, it's the Texas heat. It's the everything Toby Hooper does in that movie is grimy, it's dirty, it's disgusting. It's R-rated without showing like anything, too.
Right.
But
that Texas summer heat should be crazy, right? Because you got Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you got the Devil's Rejects, and you got X. Like,
yeah, Connor just shouted out Devil's Rejects, which is another one, man. It's another one that's got that dirty, grimy 70s grindhouse feel.
Right.
And it's another summer horror movie too. I assume it's in summer. Definitely feels that way. But yeah, those two are kind of like very similar vibes in terms of their like presentation, their gnarliness of what's going on. No, yeah, those are two big obvious choices. Devil's Rejects is Rob Zombie's masterpiece to me.
Yeah, that's my. I would probably say that's my second favorite Rob Zombie movie. My first one being Halloween 2.
I've heard this take so many times. Okay, Brett, I want to give you the floor real quick. Why do you think that's Rob Zombie's masterpiece? Because I've heard a lot of people come out and defend this within probably the last 5 years.
I just like the originality of it, though, because like it doesn't copy really. The only thing it copies from the Halloween franchise is the hospital scene, but they did that at the beginning of the movie. But after that, it really just is its own original story, and Rob Zombie's allowed to take it wherever he wants it to go. It's just to focus on the PTSD side of things of Laurie Strode. I think it's a really interesting concept, and just to see how that movie plays out. I thought it was shot really nicely. I know a lot of people make fun of the horse, but way at the beginning of the movie, they put that quote on the horse. So you know exactly what it's there for. So I don't get to complain on that anymore when they already established what that horse means. And plus, freaking Scout Taylor Compton, oh my God. She dominated that movie with her performance. I thought she was absolutely spectacular. And why has she not in other big horror movies? I don't know why. Because that movie alone should have gotten her more opportunities in the horror genre, like in the bigger movies.
She did another horror movie I liked. It was a little.
She did The Long Night recently.
It was a couple of years ago. It's called One Night in Scout Taylor Compton.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm kidding. No, but Victoria and Gabe love this movie.
They do.
Halloween.
And Halloween. They are big time defenders. Gabe, especially. I want to let Gabe talk about it because he loves Rob Zombie's Halloween movies.
My man.
So for me, not a big fan of the Halloween franchise. I know that's my caveat here, right? I don't. Everybody puts Halloween 78 on a pedestal. I don't believe it belongs on the pedestal. And then the entire franchise is just one big program. It's just one big fucking disenfranchised franchise. Like, it doesn't know where it wants to go. Fucking 7 movies of just everything is so different. So that's my preface, right? But what Rob Zombie did with the first one is he made it his own as much as try to keep it to the original. I know people hate it. The beginning of it was something different. You take a look at why Michael Myers became Michael Myers as a kid, and then it turns into like a love for the 1978 film. The second one is, like it's been said, is something just completely different. He doesn't take, Halloween 2 into consideration. He just does his own thing. And it's like, I like it. Yeah, the white horse doesn't make sense for a lot of people, but when you look into it and you see what the significance of a white horse means throughout history, not just in this film, but throughout history, then it makes sense. You're like, all right, I can see why that white horse is in there now. It's, it's just imagery that he put in that people don't understand, that he tried to elevate into it. And he made it his own. I'm sorry. I would die defending Halloween 2. In fact, we have a whole episode that you haven't released yet of me and Victoria defending Halloween 2.
It's from like last year. So we have a whole 30 minutes.
I want to see that video because me and Brett actually did a video on our own too, defending Rob Zombie's Halloween movies. And the best way I can tell people how to watch it and how to treat Rob Zombie's Halloween, kind of like treat it as like in his own little multiverse, kind of like in Spider-Man. Like treat it as like in a whole nother dimension in the Halloween franchise, and just go with it. Like, don't think about it too hard. Don't compare it. Just treat it like it's its own story. If people could accept the whole
Michael Myers raping his niece and Thorn trilogy bullshit, why can't they accept Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and what he tried to do with it? Like, it makes no fucking sense to me.
Real quick, I want to reference Connor saying, can I be on the Flopbuster Rob Zombie video? Yeah, of course, man. We could definitely make that happen for sure. We'd love to have you on. So you guys are huge defenders of Mr. Zombie. Just to preface, I fucking love White Zombie, Rob Zombie's music. I love Rob Zombie. I love half of his filmography, and I think the other half.
I love all his filmography.
I think there's some things in there where he kind of
haunted world of El Super Beasto.
I actually like that movie, but I think there's elements of him that get lazy for me, and I think it's hard for me because I think the first Halloween is overall like it's an okay movie for me. I think visually he's an auteur, man. Like he knows his vision. He likes to shoot on film. He loves 16 millimeter. He's a film nut. He knows everything about every movie. The dude is that smart. My problems with the second movie, if we do an episode, I'll get into them. I'm not on board with that vision. I think there's some incredible visual things that he does, very music video-like, obviously. But I dig him when he's doing stuff like The Devil's Rejects or even The Lords of Salem. And I'm very excited for what he does with the Munsters because I think he's going to knock that out the park because he loves the Munsters. But for me, I think if you do a movie, you have to love the franchise. And I know for a fact he doesn't love the Halloween franchise. So it's so hard for me to sit there and enjoy a movie when I know the director doesn't really want to do it. So I understand that people love the second film and the different take it brings, but I can't get on board with a vision if he's not even a fan.
I don't think you could say he doesn't love the franchise because he said that he loves the franchise. He loves the first Halloween. What he didn't want is to do Halloween 2. And, but they were going to get, the studio said, well, we're doing this with or without you. So, I mean,
they even hired directors. They had these French guys. I think they did Leatherface. Right. Those guys were going to do Halloween 2.
So he's like, why would I let somebody else touch, my Michael Myers, my vision? So, yeah, he did it. He didn't want to because he thought he was just going to do a one and done. He didn't want to do another one. But yeah, I mean, but what he did was amazing Rob Zombie Halloween. Yeah. It had nothing to do with John Carpenter's. It's just his own vision, his own take on it, which I could appreciate, which you should appreciate because you're freaking the all the fluff that you given David Gordon Green on his Halloween fucking trilogy, making it his own. You give him all this and you're fucking praising him like,
hold on.
You're not going to do the same to Rob Zombie?
Hold on. Can I say this? Who was the first person that walked out of Halloween Kills and said, you know what? I'm not a big fan of this movie. That was me. So I'm not being biased because I do love 2018. I think it does something with that by bringing it back to its roots of what the meaning of that character is. But I do have problems with it, with his take as well. I just like David Gordon Green overall. But Rob, I think Rob works better when he's doing his own thing, or doing something that's as visually in tune with what he wants to do. And I just don't think Halloween is that. But I understand when people go, oh, I fucking love it because it's crazy, it's wild, it's this whole thing on PTSD and whatnot, which is exactly like you brought it up. You guys brought it up in the video. So each time I rewatch it, I don't hate it. So if we do a Rob Zombie episode, I'll watch it again.
Yeah, and the two things I want to bring up real quick about it too. The first thing being that bathroom scene where Laurie finds Annie in the second one, and where Brad Dourif, if you get the director's cut of it, which I was pretty mad that it wasn't in the theatrical cut, where Brad Dourif delivers one of the most epic scenes I've had, probably the best scene in the entire Halloween franchise, in my opinion. Is Sheriff Brackett finding his daughter in that bathroom at Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, because that is freaking powerful stuff. And crap, I even forgot the second. Oh, the second thing, Tony. Hey guys, have y'all seen the Rob Zombie's Halloween documentary on YouTube? Sorry, I had to figure out where it was.
I have, and it's a great the making of you're talking about, right?
Yes, and I think why we need more documentaries like that, because to me that's the best way to do a documentary of every movie. Exactly how Rob Zombie did it, because I enjoyed that 4 hours. That 4 hours flew by because I was so invested into it. So everybody in the chat, if you have not seen that documentary on YouTube, I highly suggest watching it.
Yes, there's that one, and then there's also the devil. Honestly, that one's great. I really fucking love the Devil's Rejects one. If you've seen
Oh,
the
I've not seen that one.
Oh, that's the one to watch, man, because you really get the sense of Rob making something big, and like this is like his masterpiece, and he's got to make it. And there's his sense of urgency and getting the actors and where to shoot. And I think it's called 30 Days in Hell. I might be wrong. Is it 30 Days in Hell? Yeah, it's 30 Days in Hell. It's a great documentary about the making of the Devil's Rejects. It's awesome. It's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
It's going on my list.
Yeah, you got to see it. There's one I want to reference right before we wrap things up, and if there's another movie people want to say, we can shout it out real quick. Is The Lost Boys. I watched The Lost Boys every summer. It's one of my favorite horror movies. It's so cheesy. It's comic booky. It's a Joel Schumacher masterpiece.
Homoerotic.
It's very homo. Yeah, of course it is. It's a big oily
Not that there's
saxophone
anything
guy.
wrong with that.
No, there's a big saxophone dude. I still believe. It's about two brothers moving to Santa Clara. What's the town? Santa Clara, I think.
California?
Yeah, it's a fake town in The Lost Boys. But it's awesome. It's like the perfect summer vampire movie. So that's one of my favorites that would have made the list, but I felt like we had to be different a little bit. So
for mine, it would be The Ruins. I love The Ruins.
Yeah, that's a good one. Another one I thought of, because pretty much any shark movie you can almost consider in a way of it being a summer movie. Actually, I just thought too, if I have another one too. The Shallows with Blake Lively. That's a great one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, true. At first, Blake Lively. Woo! Then the second one, have you ever heard of Bait 3D?
no.
Okay, highly suggest Bait 3D. Destiny introduced that movie to me because of my love for Sharni Vinson, aka Aaron from Your Next. She is in this movie, and my God, that's the movie I fell in love with her. Like, I thought Your Next was the movie I fell in love with her. Bait 3D. Absolutely fell in love with her. It's a fun movie, but pretty much what it is, it's a movie where you're in a grocery store and there's this big like tsunami that takes place and it covers the whole grocery store underwater pretty much, and like some sharks invade the area and the survivors have to find their way out.
Wow, that sounds pretty awesome, and I love her on Your Next. So I never even heard of this. What year is this?
Oh gosh, you're going to put me on the spot here. I want to say 2014. I have to go reach my DVD to go find out, because I had to special order that Blu-ray just to get it, because they're apparently they're a little hard to track down. But I had to own me a Blu-ray of it.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome, man. I'm definitely gonna check that one out. We got a couple in the chat real quick. The Ruins, you guys mentioned The Ruins. I saw that for the first time with Jason from Sinister Cinema a while ago. I was on my phone the whole time, and I was like, yeah, and he was like, wait, like, watch the movie. So I don't remember anything about that movie. I got to give it another chance, but everybody's saying it's great, so maybe I watch it again. Bait is great. It has the guy from The Loved Ones as well. Oh, is this?
Yes, like Xavier. Yeah.
Is it an Australian film?
It is an Australian film.
Yeah. They know how to do horror movies, man. Those Australians, The Loved Ones that's a masterpiece.
Yeah, Sharni Vincent's Australian too, so.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's I don't know. Do you
should have put The Ruins on the list.
I would have definitely have watched it. That's one that I need to rewatch because I don't think I gave it its fair shake the first time.
I've never seen it, so I'm interested because of the chat. So I'm going to put it on my watch list.
So basically, it's a group of tourists that go into Mexico on vacation, and they go into an old like Mayan or Aztec temple, and they want to go see this. And so they get sort of like, so they enter this temple and they're not supposed to. The indigenous people, it's like their sacred ground, and they don't let them leave from on top of the ruins. And then the ruins take on these powers and they start killing them off one by one.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, you sold me on that.
So it's great. It's a great movie. It's a great representation of like Mexican, Aztec, folklore in a sense with touristy things going on. It's great. That's why it's like one of my favorite horror movies. Some of the kills would be like, okay, they're all right, but other than that, I mean, it's really good, really well acted, really good concept.
Hell yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. So we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna start wrapping things up. This is a great episode, and we've went on for about 80 minutes. So this is one of the longer ones for sure. But it was so much fun talking summer horror. I want to thank Brett first and foremost for coming on here. Thank you, man. Go ahead and tell the folks where they can find you, what you're doing next, like what's going on.
Alrighty. First off, thank you so much for having me. It's a distinct honor to be on this channel, and I cannot wait to have you all guys on next week, which I'm getting ready to get into. But what's coming up on Good Real Hunting is tomorrow we're doing our 600 subscriber celebration stream, which is going to be Horror Trivia Night 3, the Slasher Edition. And you saw Mia and Destiny in the chat. They are going to be a part of it, along with other of our good friends from the YouTube community. So hang out with us tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern time for some Horror Trivia Slasher Edition. So bring all your slasher questions and we'll try to answer them. And then next week, I got my big birthday watch party series, which is 5 straight days of 5 watch-alongs. And Flopbusters are going to be joining me next Thursday as we're going to be watching The Karate Kid to say once and for all that Danielson is an evil son of a bitch.
All right,
He's
we're gonna
evil.
We're definitely gonna settle this. But no,
Yeah.
man, I'm excited to come on the show. I know Gabe is too.
I am too. I'm very excited.
So
Man.
it's gonna be awesome. I'm excited for the trivia streams you guys are doing too. It's gonna be really cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm so looking forward to it. Like, it's going to be a great time. And to find us, we are Good Real Hunting, and you can find us on our Facebook group, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd. And then, of course, we got some Apple Podcasts and Spotify episodes. We are in the discussion of like trying to switch things up and to be more to be more consistent with things. So be sure to, if you just want to hunt for the good reels with us, just go ahead and subscribe. We will love to have you. We welcome everybody.
Awesome, man. You want to wrap things up for us, Gabe?
No, you could go ahead.
All right. All right, guys. So thank you for watching. I want to thank the live chat, Brett, again for joining us. Everybody in here, Mia, Connor, Julian, everybody who stopped by and watched and joined us. I'm Tony. This is Gabe. You're watching Flopbuster, and we'll see you next week for movie trivia.
Gone Wild edition.
Yes, Girls Gone Wild here on the channel. You all have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
See you guys.